Hey guys, before we jump into this video, I do want to give a little adult content disclaimer. I know slightly explicit content isn't completely random for me, but we do go into some pretty deep, some details in this video, which obviously it's aimed at people who are of age. I know around the world, consent for sex and other things like that is all of different ages, so I am sort of suggesting it's an 18 plus. My demographic is 18 to 24 year olds, so I do feel completely comfortable talking about all of this kind of stuff, but I know my videos can reach a wider audience of people of any age. So I just wanted to give a little disclaimer. Maybe don't play this out loud, put your headphones in, and I really hope you guys enjoy. Not only is this meant to be bestie vibes, but this is meant to be slightly educational as well, and just normalizing this sort of conversations, which you guys know if you listen to my podcast, I am all down for. So love you guys, enjoy, and yeah, just a little disclaimer.
Nothing is going to be off limits. How freaking cute is this? Don't bite it. Finger play, I think, is really so underrated. Focus there. Finger, thumb, at the top, around the top. It literally is piss. Guys, you have no idea just how much these videos are my favorite to film. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. We are being super candid, casual today. We're in the bed. The pink light is on. You guys know what that means. I've also got a margarita on the go, okay? This is your sign to grab a drink now. I want this to be girly, sleepover vibes. I feel like I've not done a sex talk, girl talk Q&A in ages. Actually, the last time that I did one, a sound bite from it went viral on TikTok. Maybe the same thing will happen this time. I feel like you guys quite like my real advice, almost, if that's what it's kind of called. Just kind of say how it is. I feel like my advice is good. It's an impartial opinion, keeping it real. I might ask you guys to send me in your sex talk questions. These videos I absolutely love doing because normalizing conversations about sex is very important. Should never feel taboo. Literally any question is normal, because I'm sure you are not the only one to have thought it, and if I can help normalize that, amazing. And it's also just fun. It's fun to talk about sex and just I don't know, hear other people's opinions, other people's tips, other people's thoughts on the same thoughts that you might be having, you know? So without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into this Q&A because I have so many fucking questions. It is a joke. And normally I start at the bottom, but this time I might start from the top. So grab a drink. I've made myself a margarita, obviously, just to, help relax the atmosphere a little bit. And let's jump into this sex talk Q&A where nothing is going to be off limits. Okay, first question. Eye contact, yes or no? For me, it's a yes, because number one, I feel like eyes are my best feature. So, and I say that because number one, I've been told that many a time, just they're very blue, seems to do the trick. Yeah, I've just had compliments on my eyes. So if I know that they're into my eyes, I will make sure that I'm looking at them in the eyes, whatever I'm doing. I also feel like it adds a little bit of intensity, but in a good way. And just because they're looking at you doesn't mean you need to look at them. If you're not about eye contact, then don't look at them. Just be in your own zone. But I also think it kind of helps, well, look at it this way. It kind of helps me relax if we're both locking eyes. They're not looking at anything else because they're looking at me in the eyes. So that kind of helps me relax. I know that can be off-putting for some people, being oh my God, are they looking at this? Are they looking at that? As if you're looking at each other dead in the eyes, they're not looking at anything else because obviously they're looking at you in the eyes. So I think that's a big yes from me. I feel like it's just relaxing all around, but then also intense in the way for if you're looking at them in the eyes and you're doing something. I think that's a turn on for them, and the aim of the game is to turn each other on, right? So thumbs up. Someone else said best sex toys. So glad that you said that. And I've had a lot of people asking questions about, struggling to orgasm during sex, favorite sex toys, what's the best sex toy, toys during sex, yes or no? And I am so excited because one of my favorite brands wanted to work with me on this video because I knew this question would come up. I knew it. And this brand is someone that literally is my whole bedside drawer. It's Lilo. I'm sure you guys have heard of Lilo. They are a sexual toy company, but their like messaging is my messaging when it comes to these videos. They just want to normalize female pleasure, the conversation of sex. They want women, or you know, anyone, but like, you know, women to openly talk about sex comfortably, talk about self-pleasure. I feel like there's still this like taboo about women and self-pleasure where like there shouldn't be, because women's self-pleasure is the go. I always hear about boys talking about like they wish they could experience a female orgasm, because when you have an orgasm, isn't it just like, holy crap, it's like magic takes over your whole body. And I love that about this brand. They literally have a sex toy for any situation, whether that's with a partner, whether that's just you wanting to explore your own sexuality and figure out what turns you on, because everyone's different, okay? Everyone's, the way they get turned on is different, and they have a toy for that, and they just make it feel like such a luxury. Like if you guys check them out, I'll leave the link down below for you guys to explore their whole range of toys. But when they arrive, it's like, I don't know, it's bougie. The packaging is gorgeous. The toys themselves are just so pretty. And I don't know, it's such a treat. Do you know what I mean? And it's just so fun to discover new sex toys and find one that suits you and experiment. Like I said, whether it's with a partner or with yourself. And their newest one, oh my God. Okay, like, don't let me like get horny about this, but their newest one is, hang on, let me get it, is the Sealer Cruise, okay? It looks like this. Number one, I feel like what throws people off about sex toys is you think it's gonna be like this big shaped vibrating thing, and then you're thinking, oh, I can't use that during sex. That's just gonna really throw my partner off. You know, another like penis shaped thing thrown into the mix. You know, it's not gonna happen. And boys can sometimes get a little bit insecure when it comes to sex toys. They think like, oh my God, you need a vibrator. Am I not doing enough? And it's like, it's not about that, okay? It's about just elevating my experience. And it's just a little helping hand. But yeah, like I said, sometimes a toy like that isn't for everyone, especially if you're more turned on by like external clitoral stimulation. This is going to be your new best friend, because number one, how freaking cute is this? Not intimidating at all. It's just a little thing, you know? And I think you get the aim of the game of the shape of this and what it's gonna do. But there's so much more like things that Lilo have thought of when it comes to this new one, the Sealer Cruise. So as you can probably guess, this one focuses more on the clitoral area rather than, you know, the inside sort of stimulation. But if you're more turned on by, what even is the word? Like penetration, they've got the toys for that as well, don't you worry. But this is definitely a beginner-friendly toy vibes, which is why I'm gonna say this is my favorite, because this gives just more of a, it's such a build-up sensation and just experience that it takes its time, but in a good way. You're like the way that foreplay does with a partner, this is a build-up. And what I love most about this is that it's got a thing called cruise control, and it's specially designed by Lilo. They've read kind of everyone's feedback when it comes to sex toys, and basically when it's on full power, in quotation marks, it reserves 20% of that. So then when this is pressed like hard against, you know, your body, so like, and when you press something hard, sometimes like the motor in it can like drop almost because you're like pushing kind of hard. But then the 20% is like unleashed. So there's no reduction in the intensity. Like it keeps on going just when you need it to. And I think learning about your own self-pleasure is super, super important, and experimenting with different kinds of toys. I know a lot of mine are like that classic, like long shape. Yeah, you can get vibrators that are like still kind of on like the big side of things. And yeah, like I said, it can just be a little intimidating. This is just perfect Perfect for the beginners. I'm going to leave it in the description for you guys to check out, and I 110% recommend that you do. It's perfect. Take it with you on a sneaky link. It fits in your bag perfectly. Like I said, it's also made of like the softest rubber material, so it's kind of gentle in that way. And I got this, I was so excited to try it because you can get kind of used to, almost like your body goes into a programming of the way that you get turned on and stuff. And if you have like the same sort of toys and stuff, it's just like good for you to try something new. And if you're definitely more of like an external, you know, sensual person, you get turned on by like oral sex or just like rubbing yourself or something, this is insane. Like I said, Lilo is just such a great brand to support and shop from when it comes to sex toys, because, you know, the messaging behind the brand is just exactly what I try and reiterate to you guys. Women empowerment, let's normalize talking about this kind of stuff. Lilo is just the best brand when it comes to sex toys. Like, they have a toy for everyone, for every kind of thing, but this new one is my favorite, the Lilo Cruise. Check it out, that cruise control function. Chef's kiss. Love you, Lilo, for sponsoring this part of the video because I'm obsessed with this and I need you guys to try it and let me know. Someone said how to deal with insecurities during the deed. Ugh, I feel like this is one of the world's most unanswered questions, like most asked questions even. At the end of the day, you both want something from sex, all right? You want a penis in your vagina, or you want a penis in your butt, or you want a vagina and a vagina together. You know what I mean? Whatever floats your boat. And I think sort of when I feel like insecurities are one of those things that it's all a like before thought. Like before you're actually having sex, you're like, oh my God, what about this? What about that? What about that? But when you're actually in the moment, do you really care? Like, it's happening, you know? And I think the more you just own it and just, even if you're faking it, like being confident with yourself, you're gonna love it, they're gonna love it. Just like, sex is all about just like letting loose, being relaxed. And if you're really insecure about yourself, then maybe, I was gonna say like you shouldn't be having sex because then you're not gonna enjoy it. But like that, I feel like that's really bad advice. Like even if you are insecure, you should definitely be having sex. But you know, you wanna enjoy the sex is what I'm trying to say. And if you're not going to enjoy it because you're feeling insecure, then like don't force yourself to do it. But I think at the end of the day, it's such a minor thing, like a bit of your body maybe that you're insecure about. Oh, who cares? I know you do. I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm like 100% sure they don't. And if they do, then that's the wrong person. And I'd hope you would realize that prior to letting them have sex with you. Do you know what I mean? I'd hope you'd get the vibe that something, well, I don't know. I'd hope they'd show their true colors before you actually did the deed, because then you'd be like, nah, not comfortable with this person. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the band, I ain't gonna do it. Also, something to remember is that boys are probably really insecure too. They just, I don't know, they don't really care, I guess, like, unless they do care and they show it too. But sex is sex at the end of the day. You're both trying to get something from it, and I don't think a little, I don't know, I wish feeling insecure like wasn't a thing. Like, because I totally get it. Just turn the lights off, all right? That's my advice. Turn the lights off, no one can see a thing, and just go for it. Own the room, do what you want to do, and no one needs to look. If it's a physical thing that is what you're talking about, being insecure. Unless you're insecure about your like own performance, then what I would recommend is, I don't know, like practice. Have a drink or something, put your headphones on, and just have a practice. Practice some moves, like just on your own, in your bedroom, dancing around, or watch some like soft, realistic porn maybe. Do you know where's good for porn? Twitter. They have some good like home video style, you know, like not crazy, stupid, unrealistic, like, performance. Like, just normal people that have filmed themselves having normal sex. And just see what they're doing. You know, not that what they're doing is the be-all and end-all, but it just might give you, number one, some hope and, you know, realization that, oh, right, sex isn't, like, orgasming within the first 10 seconds and, like, you know, having a perfect vagina, okay? Like, these home, like, kind of videos just make you realize, like, you know, the normal sex and how you can make that good with whatever you've got going on. So that's kind of my tips. I hope that helps. Someone said, being on top. I know guys love it, but I get anxiety. Not sure how to snap out of that and enjoy. Okay, so the thing about being on top is I think people get, like, anxiety about, number one, boys I think prefer it when you're on top and you go in like an up and down motion, because for them that feels better. You're going up and down on their, like, shaft, and that's the way that they would, you know, and like when you give, you know, it's all up and down for boys. But for girls, I think we prefer a little bit more of like a back and forth, because it presses against our, you know, G-spot. It feels good that way. So then, you know, you want it to be good for you. You want it to be good for them. You're not sure which one to do. So you're just like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. I'll just let them do things to me that they're enjoying. And I think that's where girls go wrong with sex. Like, we just care more about what feels good for them, because like we want them to come, and it's like always a thing like, oh my god, did you come? Like, yeah, they obviously did, because they cared about what was good for them. But I think with being on top, it's one of those things where I think when you know what you like and also what they like, you can just take some kind of control with it, a little bit of both. Do you know what I mean? Or if you're like a bit more, if you're saying you get like anxiety, I don't know if that's, yeah, like I said, if it's because you don't know what you're doing, or like body wise, tell you what's good, especially as, because I've got like a bigger chest, what I like to do is if I'm gonna be like on top, I'll like get their hands and put them on my tits. Because number one, they just need some support, you guys. And if I'm not wearing a bra, they can do the supporting. So, and I think that's kind of a turn on too. If you just take control of that, like let them hold your boobs, so then you've got your hands to help support you, to do whatever you need to do. That's my tip number one, especially for my for my bigger chested girls. Take some control. If you don't want to hold your boobs and they want to like take your bra off, they can hold your tits, all right? They can hold the tits, hold them up, whatever. That allows you to have your arms back, arms forward, you know, they're being supported. It's good. Number two, like I said, up and down I think is better for them. Back and forth is better for you. And prior to like being on top, like I said, about like just learning to be more like confident, headphones in. Obviously this is like before you have sex. Oh, actually, put some music on while you're having sex. Pretend that you're dancing. Like if you were like twerking in a club or just like moving around when you're in a club, I think when music is on, it really just helps you loosen up. You just kind of move to the music, do you know what I mean? So that might help. Also just means like, you know, the music in the background is going to drown out any potentially embarrassing like sounds, or, you know, if there's some awkward like moving around, it's not happening like in awkward silence. That might help with the anxiety. It also maybe gives you like a bit of a beat and like a bit of a rhythm to just like do things to. Do you know what I mean? I hope that helps. I feel like that was some good advice, you know, when it comes to things like that. So many people were asking about like masturbation, sex, orgasms during sex, sex toys during sex. This is the one. Someone said, talk about hand jobs. I don't want to talk about hand jobs because hand jobs suck. Number one tip when it comes to hand jobs, use your mouth. Leading on from that, someone said how to give the best blowjobs. Well, let me take a sip. Oh my God, I'm nearly out of my drink. Not sure if I am the best, but I've had great reviews. So I think in like a summary of it, wetter is better. So lube it up, whether that's with your own, you know, spit, whether that's with actual lube, because I know a lot of people don't actually like to give head. So make it nice for yourself. Get some strawberry lube, and then it'll just taste, obviously make sure it's like the lube you can put in your mouth, because then it's gonna taste nice. This just tastes like a strawberry lolly. Delicious. But don't bite it. It may taste good, but it's not actually food, all right? Like, don't fully bite it. Teeth is a no. But yeah, wetter is better. I know a lot of people are maybe like scared and think it's all about like putting it like all in your mouth. And if you actually know the anatomy, is that the word? Anatomy of a penis, you know that the like connecting bit from the like the like head to like the shaft, there's like that connecting bit. That is the most sensitive part, and that's only like this much. Honestly, if you don't like the thought of like putting it all in your mouth and like all of that, focus there, whether that's with like a finger on like the front and like your thumb on that part, or like your tongue on that part, and then you're using your hand just like on like the shaft. Guys, what the fuck? I'm really like going into detail about this. They will love that, because when it comes to like the shaft, that's not where their main sensitivity is, I don't think. It's like at the top, around the top, the balls area. So yeah, again, if you don't like the whole thing, focus your mouth either on the top or at the bottom. But some boys don't want you anywhere near the bottom. It's too sensitive, and they're like, no. So, you know, it's all about figuring out what's good for them. But yeah, I think don't put this pressure on yourself to think like, oh my God, I'm just gonna be going like up and down, like, and that's it. Because actually, that's kind of boring. That's what the basic bitches do. You wanna know the anatomy, it's anatomy. And just like focus on those areas. Get your hands involved, make sure they're nice and wet. You know, if you're not so much a mouth person and you are gonna have to be using your hands, just, you know, make sure that they're lubed up, whether that's with your spit or with lube. You know, they're just gonna love that. So yeah, that's probably my tips. I hope that helped. And that wasn't too graphic. Oh my God. Like I said, nothing's off limits, you guys. Oh, someone said I was seeing a guy with a small penis and found most positions really difficult. Anyone else? Well, number one, anyone else? Have you ever been with a guy with a small penis? You see what I mean? This is why the whole like insecurity thing, I don't know why it's so like heavily, women feeling insecure during sex. Like, the thing is, when it comes to men, like when you have a small penis, there's nothing you can do about it. So, you know, not that that's something to be insecure about, but I know obviously most guys would feel insecure about that, but somehow they make it work. Do you know what I mean? In terms of positions, I think you've got to let him be the one that's like on top when it comes to sex, because, you know, if you're on top and you're doing the motions and stuff, there's going to be most probably a lot of like falling out, having to put it back in, and that's just awkward for everyone. And you don't want to like make someone feel like embarrassed, like, and I say that, and like, do you know what I mean? So therefore you'd hope men would think that when it comes to like, you know, well, I would hope men don't make you feel embarrassed about something while you're having sex, do you know what I mean? But like, as girls, obviously, like, it just is automatic pilot. If he's got a small dick, you're not going to make him feel, you're obviously going to try not make him feel embarrassed about it, and you're just going to try and make it work. You both want to enjoy this, so let's work with what we've got. I did see something once about like, if you do want to switch up the positions, and they have a small penis, try doggy, but like get them to be sort of more, am I going to demonstrate? More like on one knee, like to the side a bit more. So they've got the like angle, and they're still like, you know, giving it some. Apparently that's a good position if they've got a small penis. I don't know. I would just assume maybe like missionary, or like maybe missionary but to this, like with your legs like, like this, but like maybe like to the side, because if your legs are like shut together, it's just obviously like a bit tighter that way. So therefore the fact that it's smaller, it might just feel a bit better if your legs are like shut, you know? But they're still doing it. So either like, yeah, like to the side, or legs like above your head. So maybe try that, you know, legs together like above your shoulders, or like, you know, to the side or something like that. Does that help? I don't know. Anyways, someone said how to squirt. Number one, stop what you're doing, okay? I listened to the Call Her Daddy podcast, and they had Chloe Cherry on it, who is that girl from Euphoria, with the big lips. What's her name? Fuck it, can't remember. Like literally is with like Fez the whole time. Basically her. And she is a sex worker in real life, and they were just kind of chatting about that, and they were talking about squirting, and she was like, squirting isn't cum, it's piss. It literally is piss. It's girls when they're orgasming pissing, like that's what it is, but in a way that it's like released by an orgasm. And unlike in porn, people actually like, because not everyone can like pee on demand, but apparently like the girls that are like planning to squirt during sex drink like 2 gallons of water like before they do it, so they're like ready to go, ready to pee. And because actually I think it's like literally scientifically proven, if you actually do need a pee, apparently a female orgasm is better if you need a pee, like that. But like maybe not everyone is like relaxed enough and comfortable enough to like release that liquid. That's why people always say like, oh my god, to squirt you need to be like really relaxed, like whatever. It's literally you releasing piss while you're having an orgasm, supposedly. That's what she said anyway. So how to squirt is drink a gallon of water and make sure you need a pee beforehand, and then just learning to relax yourself in order to release it. It's literally just, you know, the pressure of the orgasm and the intensity of the orgasm forcing you to piss. That's what it is. Maybe I'm wrong, and that is wrong, and it is like this separate liquid that only like some people have. I don't know, but it's pretty much just, yeah, relaxing yourself and peeing. And I think if you're comfortable with that, then that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know, I may have got that really wrong. Leave me something in the comment section down below if that's wrong, but apparently that's what it is. And that's why there's so much like, oh, like, can I, can't I? Like, people just like don't know, because like, why do some girls have this liquid and some girls don't? Like, we all got it, all right? It's fucking piss. But it's just about needing the sensation when you're like having this orgasm, and then just like being able to be comfortable enough to release it. That's where it's like, can I, can't I type stuff. Just went and poured myself another drink because I'm not ready for this video to end yet. Well, answer. Woo! That's nice. A couple more, because I feel like really gone in on a few of these ones. Someone said, fingers in bumholes. Can we just talk about it? Male and female. Personally, it's a no from me. I mean, it's a no from me of like having it done to me. But that's just because me and my bowels aren't the best of friends. So I don't want anything going in there. Like, I just can't do it. It's, yeah, massive no. Like, I could not relax if it was anything to do with that area. And I think it's very important, if you are doing anything in that area, to relax. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. And I just can't do it. So it's a no from me, but from the people that I do know that do like things in that area, it's a thumbs up. I've never actually put my fingers in anyone's butt either, so can't really give you too much advice on that. But again, they need to be comfortable with it. If they want you to do it, then it's just kind of one of those things that's like, okay? I would say maybe make sure that you've got no nails on, otherwise you might injure someone or, you know, something else. So make sure your hands are like in good and like ready condition if you are going to be doing it to somebody else. I feel like with that area anyway, you know, maybe just like stimulation around it is probably just safer and better for like both parties. But if you like things in there, that is totally fine. I am not one of those people, so I can't even comment really. But I just thought I would give my opinion and my thoughts on it. Somebody said how to initiate sex. That's a good one, because some people, you know, there's the sexual narratives that boys always must be the initiator of sex, and I think that actually puts a lot of pressure on boys. I did a podcast episode with a sex therapist, Kate, and she really wanted to talk about and emphasize the dangers of sexual narratives and how that they can have an impact on our sexual performance. Like, and there's the negative ones, like that boys have to be rock hard all of the time, boys have to make the first move, all of this, which can actually have a psychological impact on a performance, and it might be a result of not being able to get hard, not lasting very long, you know, suddenly being very reserved, that kind of thing. So we really need to like get rid of them. If you want to have sex, don't wait for them to necessarily be the one to initiate it, because they might already be feeling that pressure and they might not be getting the vibes from you because you don't want to initiate it, and therefore you're being slightly more reserved. And like, it's like about reading each other's body language, I think. But if you want to initiate sex, go ahead. It's not just for boys to do it. You can be the one to do it. I'm sure 9 times out of 10 they want you to do it too and they're into it. But obviously read the room. If you initiate it and they're actually not feeling it, retract. It's no big deal. It would be like if a boy came onto you and if you were just like not really in the mood and you sort of just go like, nah, it's not a big deal. Like, do you know what I mean? You know what it's like to not be in the mood. And so if they're not in the mood, respect it, go back to cuddling, done. But if you want to initiate it, I think little things you can do is just, it's kind of all about like touching, or maybe like the way that you're breathing. Like, yeah, I think just hands are like the best. Even if it's just on the knee, or even if it's just your pinky playing with their pinky, or even if it's just your hand on the back of their neck. It obviously is going to depend on like what position that you're in. Let's say you're like watching a movie and you're like sat next to each other. Definitely hand on the leg, inching a little bit closer, but then like maybe like retracting a little bit. You know, finger play I think is really, it's actually really a turn on and really like part of the build up, and it's so underrated. I know that sounds so stupid, what, like playing with your fingers, but do you know what I mean? It starts with the pinky and then you start like, I don't know, your hands almost mimic what you want to do with each other. And I think that's kind of a turn on. So get your hands involved, whether if that's on their leg and you're slowly moving up, whether if that's tickling their arm and moving up to their like neck, that kind of thing. And I think hands are quite easily retractable. So if you're like just, I don't know, playing with their hand and you're not really getting anything back, just take your hand back. Okay, take it away and it's like it never happened. Someone said how to keep everything smelling nice. Smelling nice, I think, is on our, as a girl, our mind, not like 24/7, but it's like it's like at the top of the list. When it comes to doing things sexually, you obviously just want to make sure that you smell and taste good. I actually did a video about this like ages ago, like in lockdown, talking about this kind of stuff. And a lot of it will depend on what you're eating and your diet. Stay away from like onions and stuff like right before you're about to have sex, because that actually can really impact your taste and the smell. Making sure that you're using, I know this doesn't sound like right, but when it comes to like washing yourself and just products around that area, make sure you're using unfragranted products, because fragranted products can really like irritate your vagina and like upset the pH balance. And when your pH balance is like neutral, everything should smell and taste good. When it's off, that's when it doesn't. So you don't want to do anything that's going to upset that. There's like specific body washes, I think, that are meant to be like pH neutralizing, but the best thing you can do is just use water to clean yourself. Your vagina is self-cleaning anyway, so you know, don't be like throwing too many like perfume fragranted things like up in the mix. It's just gonna really upset it. Go ahead like around the outside in terms of like your inner thighs. I love like a strawberry body butter like on my inner thigh, if I know like I'm about to do something tonight, so like it smells good in that sense. Never spray perfume on it, because number one, imagine spraying perfume into your mouth. It's like that bitter, horrible taste, right? So don't do that on your vagine. Don't do that. But yeah, just like moisturizers that smell good just around the area, nothing inside, like nothing inside. And I don't know, I don't know. I quite like my own smell. Like, and I quite like boys' smell, like skin, sweat. Like, I like that smell. I don't know, it just smells like a body. And I think, yeah, you don't want to mess with that. Like, your natural smell is actually really sexy. You know, you see girls on TikTok talking about like, oh, if I could like live in my boyfriend's armpit or like something. Do you know what I mean? Not that boys like the smell of like girls like BO in the sense of when it's like sweating all day like type thing, but your just like natural scent is probably like more of a turn on than you think and that you realize for like another human being. Like, I quite like my own smell, so I would hope that boys also do. It just smells natural and like it just smells like sex. Like, I don't know. Can't really explain it. Do you know what I mean? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Am I just weird? Anyway, let's do one more, shall we? Because this video is long. But there are just so many questions, and that just tells me that I need to do more of these, okay? Because everyone obviously has so many questions. Let's do 2 more. Someone said, watching lesbian porn, but I am straight. Is this a thing? Does this make me bi? I don't think so. Because I think, speaking from someone that is straight, I think the turn on is that who knows how to please a woman better than a woman, because they understand the female anatomy. Do you know what I mean? I think we think too much into it of the fact that it's like 2 girls and we're like, oh my God, am I attracted to the girls? But I think it's more like, no. Well, I speak on behalf of myself. No, it's like what they're doing is turning me on. And she obviously like knows what she's doing because she is also a woman. So she just like gets it. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily the fact that it's 2 girls. It's more like what she is doing to that woman is what I want done to me. But like obviously with like a man, speaking from myself, but they're obviously just doing it so well because they are a woman, you know? And I think a lot of girls are sort of more turned on with like outside stimulation, just like rubbing and that kind of thing. And obviously with lesbian sex, it's a lot about the rubbing and like that kind of stuff. So, and we can just envision like that, we could guess what that feels like. And I think that's why it's a turn on, because a lot of women, as much as we know that penetration feels really good, for like more like a different reason, like it's like with the guy that you really love, when you're really like wet, like, you know what I mean? It feels good. And there's so many other reasons why that feels good and why we enjoy sex that way. But necessarily when it comes to just turning ourselves on, that's not the preferred method, like penetration. So like I don't want to watch that. Does that make sense? I hope I'm normalizing this because I think this is, you know, what it is. I feel like this is what it is for me anyway. So then yeah, we were interested in more of the like outside rubbing side of things, and you just get more of that when it's two girls doing it, you know? So no, I don't think that makes you bisexual unless it is, I think you just know when you're being turned on by the fact that it's two women, or you're just being turned on by the fact that she's just rubbing. And you can imagine what that feels like. So you just gotta ask yourself what it is that you're actually being turned on by. But no, I don't think that watching lesbian porn makes you bisexual. I think you are still straight, and I think the majority of us can agree that we've all watched it and it's not because we're bisexual. But if it is, that's okay too, obviously, duh. Like, maybe you're just, maybe if you're listening to what I've just said and you're realizing that you're watching it because you like it's two girls, then maybe it's like a light bulb moment and you're like, oh, maybe that's something that you need to explore. Okay, the last one. Okay, I'm gonna end on this one because I think actually this is very important. When and how to break it to a guy you've been seeing that you have an STD. This is very important because wouldn't you just rather know? Like, if a guy texted you and said, hey, I've just tested positive for chlamydia, I think you need to get tested. Obviously you have that 10 seconds of, what the fuck, oh my God, like, ugh, but like, wouldn't you just rather know? And yes, it's a bit of a faff having to go to the doctors and get it tested and, you know, on the antibiotics, whatever. I pray that it would only have just been chlamydia, because if it was anything worse, obviously it's not as easily treated. But chlamydia is so easy to treat. Like, it's antibiotics for a week and you're okay. And for women, if that goes undetected for like a huge amount of time, that can have massive impacts on your fertility later down the line, because in women, the symptoms you can't really tell if it's chlamydia. They basically go undetected unless someone tells you. So in that sense, just imagine, wouldn't you rather a guy told you as soon as they knew that yes, they have got chlamydia, don't know when they got it, you might have had it because we slept together recently, go and get yourself checked. Massive respect to them for letting me know, because it's so easy to just be like, oh, do you know what, fuck them, I'm not going to tell them. It's just so much better to let them know. And I know it feels awkward at first, and it's like, oh God, like, oh, I'm just like so embarrassed. It happens to the best of us. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of girls don't know that they've got it. So that person, when they slept with a guy, may have not known that they had it. And like, because a guy didn't tell them, didn't show them the common decency and respect to let them know. Because when a guy's got chlamydia, I'm pretty sure they fucking know about it. Like, they get the symptoms. So that guy was a prick for not telling the girl that he'd obviously got it. So then she was just merrily going along her way, like, and slept with someone else, slept with that guy who then slept with you. You know, I think it's one of those things, it happens. These things happen. It's embarrassing for like 5 minutes of like having to send that text, and then their response might be good, it might be bad, but at least you told them. At least you told them. You've done the right thing by telling them. And if their response is fucking like, oh my God, I can't believe it, it's like, well, both of us had the unprotected sex, okay? Like, we're both in this together. I just had something and I didn't even realise. You know? Just get it done. Get yourself checked. If you're having unprotected sex quite frequently and it is possible that you might get an STD, then make sure you're being responsible about it. Make sure you're getting those regular checkups. I do recommend, if you are having unprotected sex regularly, that you don't do that and that you have protection, because having the morning after pill and regular STD checks is not a long-term method of safe sex. Like, that's not it. Condoms are going to be your best friend. Like, it takes one time to have unprotected sex and contract something that could be potentially awful, like, to your health. And then wouldn't you just be like, I should have just used a condom. I should have just used a condom. And yeah, so going back to the question of when and how to best to break it to a guy, just get it out the way. Send them a text, give them a call. I feel like text is better. No awkward face-to-face, like whatever. Just like, hey, this is a bit awkward and embarrassing, but it's obviously like, literally say it. It's obviously the right thing to do to tell you is that I just had an STD check. I've got chlamydia. I'm not 100% sure where it's come from. Or actually, maybe don't even say that. Just be like, I know who I've got it from. I've spoken to them as well. But I just wanted to let you know so you can just get it sorted ASAP and just double check that you've got it. I would hate for you to pass it on to somebody else. How can you be angry at someone that says that? Do you know what I mean? Ugh, yes, it's annoying, but we move on and we deal with it. Anyway, so that was the end of this sex talk Q&A. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like all of the questions I answered have been very different from the past. Very different advice and responses and tips. So I really hope you guys appreciate that and enjoy it. Make sure you check out the Sealer Cruise from Lilo. I will leave it in the description bar down below for you guys. If you're a newbie with sex toys, if you want to just boost your sex life with something less intimidating, or you've never like managed to have an orgasm from, you know, penetrative sex toys, this is going to be your new best friend. Make sure you guys go and check it out. Like I said, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's normalize these types of conversations. Let's sound off in the comment section down below about literally anything that we've discussed. Share your tips, thoughts, opinions, advice, anything. I love that we like chat this out in the comment section down below. But yeah, love you guys. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.